My name is Peter. Peter von Kamp. As a filmmaker, my proudest asset is my crew. My crew who I considered my family. Or at least I did. Someone saw fit to dispose of my most valued crew member, Glenda.
Our film deals with the fantasies of a young filmmaker whose crew begins to fall apart when one day on set the tea lady, Glenda, is murdered. So the core of the plot consists of a murder mystery, but our film is actually about the protagonist, and the cinematic style and film narration that we aim to carry out aims to express the character of our protagonist.
Peter von Kamp is a filmmaker who lives and breathes creativity. Passionate about his creative decisions, he constantly comes up with new ideas and new ways of thinking about things, believing his ideas to be the best and becoming more and more excited and ambitious with each new idea. Bam! He considers his crew members as a family and cares about them a great deal despite his self-centred tendencies and his obsession with his own fantasies. He often disappears off into his own little world of fantasy scenarios and ends up running off on tangents.
It's these tangents that reflect his ever-changing thoughts and emerging ideas, a bit like riding a bike down a hill with the brakes that don't work, and just after it's been raining and the road's really slippery. A bit dangerous actually really if you're not wearing a helmet. And when you start going around corners, if you go too fast, then you end up slipping and you find yourself on the ground.
So anyway, we want to convey these tangents through the use of tracking shots. We took much inspiration from Wes Anderson and his film The Grand Budapest Hotel. Anderson is notorious for using tracking shots, and The Grand Budapest Hotel is a perfect example of this. Our protagonist, Peter von Kamp, when he interrogates his crew members, his mind gets easily distracted and his thoughts are always jumping from one to the next. So by using tracking shots, we're kind of conveying this forever moving mind, his mind always wandering, and also it just makes our shots look less static and what we find would be less boring.
As also seen in Anderson's films, he uses the long take to depict the whole world that the protagonist is involved in, and in our film we've used it to demonstrate all the different components of Peter's world and how he operates around them and how he views them and reacts to them.
Along with Wes Anderson, we've taken much inspiration from Edgar Wright. Wright is really successful in making the mundane interesting through close-ups, quick cuts, whip pans and sound. Taking Hot Fuzz as an example, Wright even makes police paperwork seem interesting through a hyper-stylized sequence of montage close-ups. Because von Kamp's mind is very dynamic, we want to kind of mimic Wright's style and make the mundane seem interesting.
I mean, this is only just about recovery, even though it happened last Friday. But anyway, von Kamp's sidetracking is an element that
We've already done this bit.
Have we done symmetry?
No, not yet.
Okay, so finally we are looking for a really polished and perfected look with our cinematographic compositions. And we're hoping to use symmetry as much as possible, as Wes Anderson does, to really convey this fantasized vision that von Kamp has of the world. How do we end this?
We are Mongrel Films.
Thanks for watching.
Sing the streets a serenade, playing everybody low.